minute, guys. Guys, guess what? New rumor. If Spider-Man Far From Home makes $1 billion at the box office, then Spider-Man is not going to be taken out of the MCU. And then he makes $1 billion, and the news is Spider-Man is out of the MCU. Something's not right. Well, let me break it down for you. Venom 2 Million here, and this deal ain't new, okay? This deal has been happening for months. This deal actually been happening for years, okay? When Sony and Marvel first sat down, they sat down at that table, and the lawyers had their briefcase, and they looked across the table from one another. They began to go over the plan, go over what exactly was wanted, what Marvel needed, what Sony needed, what this deal would encompass. Within that conversation, Marvel knew about Venom, about Morbius, about all of these things. Disney knew all of that. Sony then found out why Marvel wanted to use Spider-Man, the exact 5-picture deal, the reason for it, what these 5 pictures were, all of that. Sony knew. This isn't new. They knew, right? They would revise. They were trying to continue. The Fox deal just happened with Disney. You think that Sony was just forgotten and Disney? No, this has been a whole conversation. This is a whole thing. This is an ever-growing thing because there is a lot of money. All right, dog? Endgame just made how much money? Making it the most high-grossing film of all time? Wait a minute, Far From Home? Spider-Man Far From Home, the first Spider-Man movie to reach $1 billion, and this film, wait a minute, this film is the highest grossing film out of the filmography of Sony, period, dot. Like, dog, there is money here, okay? Sony and Marvel sit down a second time, and yo, bruh, dog, we did a great job, man. We did a great job. Now, for the next set of films, this is what we want. We want 50%, 50-50, and we want 5% of the box office from the opening, and we're going to take 50% of the total earnings of the film, and we'll also split the cost 50%. Yeah. And Sony is like, yo, dog, wait a minute, what's wrong with the previous deal where you make your movies with our character that we own and we take nothing, and we make our movies with your assistance with the character we own, and we take the profits. You know, you guys have a percentage already that come from, but why do you need more money? And Marvel's like, because we're Marvel. We just gave you $1 billion. So let's make this work. Let's make it happen. And Sony's like, okay, so how about we don't do 50-50? We do we will pay for the whole film. You all can take a percentage of something, or maybe how about, because you already got the merchandising rights, we take a percentage of the merchandising rights. You know, and the whole time Marvel's just like, no, we've told you our deal. We told you what we want. If you don't want that, then there's the door. And Sony just is like, you serious? All right, well, we got Venom. We got all these other movies. Now, the reason for Venom, Morbius, and all these other spinoffs is because of the fact that within the right situation, Sony owns the character of Spider-Man as long as there's a film in production for the character every X amount of years, I think it has to be in production, every X amount of years. So because of the fact that they were doing this deal with Marvel, this wasn't a solely Sony film. Within the right situation, within the deal that they did, it still stated that they need to make a Spider-Man film, that these Spider-Man films that they're making with Marvel will not count. because ultimately Marvel wants to get Spider-Man back. So they're like, yo, we gonna help you with the Spider-Man movies. That ain't counting towards your quota. You need to make that quota, boy. What you talking about? So Sony was like, fine, we gonna make our own stuff. We got Venom, we got all these other things that we want to do. Also, we're gonna do this because of the fact that who knows? We don't know. Like Disney, y'all crazy. We don't know how long this could last, and we want to at least have some eggs in our basket. What if, God forbid, the Marvel deal fails, and we got Spider-Man, but people want to see Spider-Man with these other characters. So what we gonna do? Listen, we gonna make our own. We're gonna make an SCU, a Sony Cinematic Universe, Spider-Man Cinematic Universe, and we're going to have Venom played by Tom Hardy, and Morbius played by Jared Leto, and Norman Osborn played by insert big name actor here. And we going to put all, listen, all right, you act up, guess what? We got our own toys. We're going to go play with our own toys and our own sandbox, okay? And, so that was Sony's thought process, whatever. But now we've got this public, thing where Sony's releasing statements, releasing tweets on Twitter, talking about all this stuff, talking about basically, saying, it's unfortunately, we regret it. It's unfortunate what Disney's decision is, but Kevin, he's busy working on all the other properties that, that Marvel just acquired, that Disney just acquired. So he's busy. It's unfortunate, but we're gonna move on without Marvel. We're going to do our own thing, and it's unfortunate. We really loved working with Marvel, and, thank you. That's a public thing. So right now, let me tell you what's happening. The previous rumor was $1 billion, Spider-Man stays. We've hit the $1 billion mark, and now Spider-Man ain't staying. That rumor was a conversation between Sony and Marvel. It was about listen, Marvel is like, bet we hit $1 million. Bet we hit $1 billion. If we hit $1 billion, there's nothing you can say that changes our deal now, because we've just made you all of this money. Listen, we want a percentage of our money. We want some money too. We ain't Disney. We ain't just Disney to be Disney. We Disney because we make this money. Okay, we about that green, that cheddar. All right. So what's gonna happen is, once it hit $1 billion, 50-50. That was what that rumor was. Hits $1 billion. Sony is like, bruh, you're not about to F us, bro. We own that property. No. Disney is like, all right. Have a good one. So now Sony has to go on this public thing. They have to make it public. They have to leak it to the press. They have to make it public because there needs to be an outcry. There needs to be an outcry to force Disney's hand, because Sony is not going to... They're not going to sign on a deal where they get screwed. They're not going to do it. Marvel, all of that, the fans, they don't give a hoot about that. What matters is that money, baby. And as long as Marvel got a deal on the table that Sony don't like, Sony ain't gonna do it. Sony ain't gonna do it. No. They will bring Tom Holland and all that. They will bring that to their own thing. Next Spider-Man Homeless, it's gonna be Spider-Man, same actor, same characters, everything. But ain't gonna be no mention of the MCU. Ain't gonna be no mention of Iron Man. Ain't gonna be no mention of that. It's gonna be just another Spider-Man story. And you're gonna introduce these other characters that are in these other films. Tom Hardy's Venom. Jared Leto's Morbius. Introduce, name drop, whatever. Because they're building this larger thing that does not have to be in the MCU. And ultimately, I find it interesting because I think that Marvel believes that they can be successful without Spider-Man, as they have been successful without Spider-Man. And I think Sony believes that they can be successful without Marvel, as they have. They have been successful without Marvel. But Sony's not going to give Marvel additional money when they don't feel like they need to. Do they need to? I don't know. Shoot, I don't know. I see both sides. If I was Sony, I probably you ain't about to make me nobody's boom shakalaka, okay? Do you know who I am? I'm Sony. You're not about to just... No, you're not about to do that. But I also see I'm Marvel. Well, if you don't like the deal, you can get to walking. So ultimately, what I think is going to happen is it would take a public outcry to make Disney. But they're still in negotiation. This is all tactics. This is all business. It's all a part of the plans. Sony on Twitter, they didn't even release an article. They put it on Twitter because the point is that's a platform where people live tweet and they see it live, immediate reactions. Let's get it trending. So that's what's happening. That's where they're going. Sony and Marvel are still in conversation. Sony knows what Marvel's plan. They knew what Marvel's plans were for the character. Marvel knew what Sony's plans were for the property. And even now within this current deal, not only with the 50-50, but also Marvel would assist with these other spinoffs that Sony is making as well, and usher them into the MCU, even though ultimately their being in the MCU wasn't dependent on Marvel. It was ultimately going to be dependent on Sony because their characters already been introduced in the MCU. Now they can do what they want with that character, with whatever they want with these other characters, because at the end of the day, they own them. It was all dependent on Sony from the beginning. But this current deal is just Sony don't like those demands. They ain't doing those demands. They gonna have a good one, and let's let the public know what's happening. That way the public can, no, and hopefully Disney can go, you know what, we're Disney. We're Kevin Feige. I love everybody. I'm a good guy. So we'll see what happens. But what do y'all think about all this and a bag of chips? Let me know in that comment section below. Let's have a conversation. I'll be down there. I want to talk to y'all because I'm trying to figure this out. I want to know whether people are more upset at the notion that Spider-Man won't be in the MCU, or more upset at the idea that, the next Spider-Man film would be solely handled by Sony. Because on one hand, I understand why people are nervous when it comes to Sony, but we've had more Spider-Man movies without Marvel's involvement than with. And Sony has made some pretty good Spider-Man properties, some pretty good Spider-Man content, whether it's TV shows or movies. People say Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man movie of all time. It's the best Spider-Man movie ever, and that was Sony. But then I'm seeing articles trying to give Marvel, Kevin Feige, give him props on the stuff Sony has done, and I'm no. No. Kevin has worked on, a lot of Marvel properties. He's worked on a lot of Marvel television shows, a lot of Marvel movies, majority Marvel movies, especially in the early years. But to give him full props is, I think, not right. Yeah, not right. But anywho, that's all. Those are my thoughts right now. I am Venom 2 Million. Thanking you for watching. Peace. What is that? I don't know what that. Peace, y'all. Peace. Have a good one. Peace.